The entire hip-hop world froze today like someone slammed their fist onto the emergency alarm and shattered every sense of normalcy because Fat Joe has officially stepped into the battlefield. And not quietly, not politely, not as a mediator. No, he stepped in like a titan who's had enough. What you're about to hear isn't just drama. It's not gossip. It is a full-scale cultural detonation. A seismic rupture in hip-hop history so violent that fans are already calling it the most shocking celebrity confrontation of the decade. Because in one explosive moment, Fat Joe, Remy Ma's mentor, her brother-in-arms, the man who helped build her legacy, turned his attention directly toward Papoose. And the message? It wasn't subtle. It wasn't gentle. It was a thunderous, world-shaking declaration that echoed across every timeline, every group chat, every corner of the internet. It's over for you. The streets shook. Social media erupted into chaos. Leaked messages started flying before anyone could hit refresh. Fans watched in real time as alliances snapped, loyalties shattered, and decades of buried tension clawed their way into the spotlight. Because if Fat Joe is firing back publicly, if Fat Joe is calling out Papoose by name, then something catastrophic has been brewing behind the scenes. Something dark, something personal, something that threatens reputations, relationships, and careers all at once. And the terrifying part? Insiders are saying this is only the first shot in a war that's been simmering beneath hip-hop for years. Brace yourself. The real carnage starts now. The moment Fat Joe's voice hit the air, the entire industry felt the temperature shift. It wasn't just another celebrity reaction. It wasn't another rapper weighing in on messy relationship drama. No, this was a seismic collision between decades of loyalty and a rising storm of betrayal. And the shockwave blasted across hip-hop like a bomb. Insiders swear Joe didn't even raise his voice. He didn't need to. His tone had that quiet, deadly calm only a man who's seen real war carries. When he said, "It's over for you," people felt it in their bones. It wasn't a threat. It was a verdict. To understand how things reached this catastrophic point, you have to rewind to the exact moment Papoose crossed a line that no one, absolutely no one, expected him to cross. Screenshots began leaking from private group chats, painting a picture far darker than the public breakup drama the world was already eating up. In the leaked messages, Papoose allegedly accused Remy of destroying everything, threatened to expose everyone who protected her, and claimed he wasn't afraid to burn every bridge they ever built. The messages spread like wildfire. Group chats exploded. Fan pages posted them with red circles and exclamation points. But the real damage came when people noticed something chilling. Fat Joe's name was mentioned directly. One message read, "Joe better stay out of this before he gets exposed too." That sentence alone, 7 words, set off a chain reaction that ripped open wounds the public never even knew existed. Bloggers began digging. Old interviews resurfaced. Fans pointed out moments when tension flickered between Joe and Papoose over the years. And before anyone could process the implications, a second leak dropped, this time a voice note, allegedly from Papoose, saying, "If Joe wants smoke, he can get it. I'm tired of being quiet while they play with my name." The voice note hit Twitter like a meteor. Within minutes, thousands were quoting it, stitching it, dissecting the tone, the anger, the venom. Some claimed it wasn't Papoose, others insisted it was undeniably him. But whether real or edited, the damage was the same. Fat Joe was being pulled into a war he never asked for, but one he refused to run from. Behind the scenes, insiders said Joe tried to keep things private at first. He called Remy. He called people in Papoose's circle. He reached out to mutual friends, trying to de-escalate the situation like the seasoned general he is. But the moment someone sent him the full thread of leaked messages implying Papoose was preparing to go public with files, receipts, and names, Joe snapped. He reportedly slammed his phone onto the table so hard one of his rings cracked. Then, with the calm of a man ready to end a war before it begins, he said, "I'm done protecting him." And that's the moment everything turned. Suddenly, More leaks surfaced, this time from inside Terror Squad. One insider revealed that Joe had been defending Papoose for years, covering for him whenever tension flared between him and Remy. According to the source, Joe respected their marriage so deeply that he kept certain truths buried, even when they affected business. But once Papoose publicly insinuated Joe had something to hide, all bets were off. Because if there was one thing everyone in the industry knew, it was this: Fat Joe doesn't take disrespect lightly. Social media went ballistic. One viral tweet read, "If Papoose beefs with Fat Joe, he better be ready for a history lesson." Another said, "Pap messed with the wrong OG. Joe survived industry wars Pap doesn't even know about." Hashtags exploded. Number protect Remy. Number Papoose vs Joe. Number Terror Squad tension. Even celebrities started chiming in. Cardi B posted a single eye emoji. Jim Jones reposted a meme of two trains colliding. Ice Cube wrote, "When OGs speak, listen." Meanwhile, Remy Ma was caught in the crossfire of a war she never intended to ignite. Leaked recordings from a studio session revealed Remy crying, telling someone she felt torn in half, that she never wanted Joe dragged into this, and that Papoose knew exactly what he was doing. The recording also captured Remy admitting she feared Papoose was spiraling out of control, acting from pain instead of logic. But the most heartbreaking moment came when she said, "I'm losing both of them, and they don't see I'm drowning." Fans were stunned. For years, Remy had projected unshakable strength. Hearing her break down like that shook the internet to its core. But the drama didn't stop. In the middle of the storm, Clarissa Shields decided to add gasoline to the fire. She tweeted, "Some men can't handle losing a woman or losing the narrative." The tweet went instantly viral. Screenshots of her DMs circulated next, showing messages from fans encouraging her to stay strong and expose Pap fully. She liked several of the messages, but what really sent shockwaves was the one she reposted. Papoose picking the wrong fights because he lost the right woman. That was it. The internet lost its mind. Papoose fired back online, subtle but unmistakable. He posted a black screen with the words, "Everybody claiming loyalty until it's time to show it." Fans dissected the meaning, arguing over whether it was directed at Remy, Clarissa, or Fat Joe. But 3 hours later, he posted again, this time saying, "Some people need to remember who I am." The threats were getting louder. The tension was getting hotter. And the entertainment world could feel another explosion coming. Then, it happened. A third leak appeared, this time a secretly recorded phone call. The audio allegedly captured Fat Joe talking to someone in Remy's camp. Joe's voice was calm but deadly serious as he said, "If Pap comes for her again, I'm ending this. He's pushing me into a place he doesn't want." The clip went viral instantly. People replayed the line ending this more than anything else. Debates erupted. Did Joe mean socially, professionally, legally, physically? No one knew. But everyone understood one thing. Joe wasn't bluffing. Papoose saw the clip and for the first time since the feud began, insiders say he went silent. Not publicly, privately. So silent that even people in his circle couldn't reach him for hours. But silence doesn't mean peace, because late that night, a message emerged from a burner account believed to be tied to someone close to Papoose. The message said, "Joe doesn't know what's coming." The internet erupted into chaos. And now, with tensions at an all-time high, one insider claims Fat Joe has more receipts. Receipts he hasn't released yet. Receipts that could destroy everything Papoose has left. Receipts that might come out tonight. Everything just changed, and the next twist could end careers. The moment the burner account message hit the internet, the atmosphere around the feud shifted from messy to dangerous. People who had been laughing before suddenly stopped. Commentators who had been joking started speaking carefully. Fans who had treated the drama like entertainment realized the situation had crossed into something darker, something raw, something with history embedded deep beneath the surface. "Joe doesn't know what's coming" became the most reposted phrase on hip-hop Twitter within minutes. and people began scrambling to figure out who sent it, what it meant, and whether it was a bluff or a warning. Rumors started swirling that Papoose was preparing a career-shattering revelation, something connected to Joe's past, something too explosive to post on his main account. And while fans argued, insiders whispered, because they had seen this tension brewing long before the public ever caught wind. According to one insider who spoke under anonymity, Papoose was convinced that Fat Joe had been undermining him behind the scenes for months. They claimed Pap believed Joe was quietly encouraging Remy to move differently, even before the cheating allegations went nuclear. The insider said Pap felt Joe never respected him as the head of the household, as the man in Remy's life, as someone who had stood by her through scandals in prison and the harshest years of her career. Whether this was true or a story built from emotion didn't matter. In Pap's mind, Joe wasn't neutral. Joe wasn't innocent. Joe wasn't just defending Remy now, he had been judging Papoose for years. This was the mindset Pap carried into the chaos. And when that mindset collided with heartbreak, betrayal, humiliation, and Clarissa Shields stoking the fire with every tweet, it created a version of Papoose that even his closest friends admitted they barely recognized. They said he was pacing constantly, snapping at people, replaying old arguments with Remy, obsessing over past interviews with Joe, and talking like a man who believed he had been disrespected on every level. One friend claimed Pap said, "Everybody think Joe's untouchable. Maybe it's time people know the truth." But the real question was, did Papoose actually have any truth to reveal? Or was heartbreak turning speculation into delusion? Then the darkest rumor emerged, one that spread through group chats and shade pages like gasoline fire. A well-known industry blogger claimed they had seen a message Pap allegedly sent to a trusted confidant. In that message, Pap wrote, "If they want war, I'll bring names, all of them. I know where the bodies are buried." Nobody knew if the message was real, but within minutes, it was everywhere. The implications were terrifying. The phrase "bodies buried" wasn't literal, hopefully, but people believed Pap was threatening to expose secrets from Terror Squad's past. Secrets that have been whispered about in documentaries and barbershops, but never spoken aloud by anyone daring enough to risk the consequences. By this point, the chatter online was feral. Threads stretched thousands of comments long. People dropped alleged stories, theories, old footage, conspiracies, connections between drama from the 2000s and the chaos happening now. But then a new leak dropped, and this one didn't come from Pap, from Remy, from Clarissa, or from Joe. It came from a lost voicemail. A voicemail allegedly left by Papoose on Remy's phone just days before Fat Joe made his explosive declaration. In the voicemail, Pap sounded furious and exhausted at the same time. He told Remy he was done being disrespected by her and the people protecting her. He said he was only quiet because of history, but quiet don't mean weak. Then he said something that froze listeners. Mid-breath, "They better stop playing with me before I let everything out. I won't spare nobody." The last sentence sparked the biggest debate because of the final word, nobody. Was he including Remy? Was he including Joe? Was he including other members of the industry? Nobody knew. But what everyone did know was that the voicemail didn't sound like a man bluffing. It sounded like a man who believed he had nothing left to lose. The internet went silent for a moment, then erupted. But one thing was clear. Fat Joe had heard the voicemail, or he had heard about it, and that's why he finally snapped and said, "It's over for you." Behind the scenes, insiders claim Joe immediately called a private emergency meeting with a few key people, Remy included. They say Joe was furious, pacing, talking in clipped sentences, demanding clarity on what Papoose might release. Joe reportedly said, "I've been solid. I've been loyal. I carried this family. I protected both of y'all. And this is how he repays it?" Remy was allegedly crying, trying to explain, trying to beg Joe not to escalate it further. But Joe wasn't hearing it. One source claimed, Joe slammed his hand on the table and said, "I don't care what he's hurting about. He's not threatening us. He's not threatening you. Not on my watch." Meanwhile, Papoose wasn't cooling down. Another leak surfaced, this time a screenshot from a burner account DM that read, "Tell Joe to pick his words carefully." The DM was short, sharp, and sent to a blogger known for stirring chaos. The blogger posted it within seconds. And then things took an even darker turn. A clip surfaced from a backstage event from years ago, a clip nobody had seen, buried in someone's old phone archives. In the video, Papoose and Fat Joe are seen having a heated argument. The audio is muffled, but you can clearly hear Pap saying, "You don't respect me, Joe. You never did." Joe responds, "I respect loyalty." The clip ended there, but its impact was nuclear. It proved this wasn't new tension. This wasn't sudden. This wasn't caused by Remy's current drama. This was a wound that had been festering, ignored, and covered up for years. Remy's meltdown continued behind the scenes. According to a second insider, she broke down crying during a private call, saying she felt responsible for everything spiraling out of control. She reportedly said, "I can't lose Joe. I can't lose Pap. I never meant for any of this to happen." But by the time she realized the scale of the destruction, it was too late to pull anyone back. Then the most shocking leak yet dropped a text from someone very close to Papoose claiming, "He's not scared of Joe, he's ready." Those 4 words lit the internet into total hysteria. Because if Papoose was truly prepared to go nuclear, if he was ready to drag every name, if he was ready to expose decades of buried secrets, then something catastrophic was about to explode. And according to one final insider, Fat Joe knew exactly what Pap had. He just didn't believe he would ever use it. Until now. As the storm reached its peak, the tension between Fat Joe and Papoose transformed from a feud into a full-blown war brewing in the shadows of the hip-hop world. Everyone from bloggers to barbershop analysts could feel it like electricity in the air before lightning strikes. The whispers grew louder. Papoose was preparing something massive, something devastating. Something that would drag the past into the present and force giants to answer for secrets, buried so deep the industry hoped they'd never resurface. Meanwhile, Fat Joe moved with a stillness far more terrifying than anger. Insiders said he wasn't pacing, wasn't yelling, wasn't ranting. He was sitting quietly, thinking, planning. And when Fat Joe goes quiet, that's when people start getting nervous. Then a new leak dropped, one that turned the entire saga inside out. A screenshot of a text message allegedly sent from someone inside Joe's inner circle read, "If Pap goes forward, we have to release everything. No turning back." Immediately people began speculating. Everything? What is everything? Old Terror Squad drama, financial secrets, hidden alliances, leaked studio sessions? Theories spread like wildfire, and each one was worse than the last. The leak didn't just ignite panic among fans, it sent shockwaves through real industry circles. Everyone knew Joe had history. Everyone knew Joe had enemies. Everyone knew Joe had survived battles other rappers couldn't dream of surviving. But if his own people were preparing to release everything, then this wasn't about defending Remy anymore. This was about survival. While this chaos unfolded, Remy found herself trapped in the center of a hurricane made of her own past, her own decisions, and the escalating hostility between the two men who had shaped her life in completely different ways. Insiders claim she broke down crying during a late-night studio session, saying, "I never wanted this. They're going to destroy each other." Those in the room said she looked exhausted, haunted, and terrified of what might come next. She reportedly begged someone to contact Papoose on her behalf. Tell him to stop, tell him I'm sorry, tell him Joe didn't mean it like that. But the message never reached him, not because they didn't try, but because Papoose stopped answering calls altogether. Meanwhile, a leak dropped from Clarissa Shields' camp that made everything 10 times worse. The leak was a short video clip where Clarissa allegedly laughed with her friends and said, "They're acting like the world ends if Joe talks. Let him talk. Pap ain't scared of nothing." The video exploded instantly. Overnight, Clarissa went from being a side player in the drama to a catalyst pushing Papoose further into battle mode. Fans started tagging her non-stop, telling her to stay out of grown men's business, accusing her of escalating things for publicity. But the clip had already done the damage. If Papoose was even considering backing down, Clarissa's confidence made it impossible. Now he had to prove something to himself, to the world, and maybe even to her. Then an even darker rumor emerged, one whispered from an anonymous insider who claimed that Papoose wasn't just preparing one revelation, he was preparing a full exposé. According to this source, Pap allegedly said, "If Joe wants to threaten me publicly, I'll ruin him publicly. I'm ready to scorch the earth." The insider said Pap had a folder saved to multiple devices, containing screenshots, audio clips, and a timeline of events stretching back over a decade. They claimed it documented industry beefs, private conversations, backroom deals, and even moments Joe thought were long forgotten. Whether the folder truly existed didn't matter. People believed it, and the belief alone sent the internet into a frenzy. At the same time, Joe held a private call with several people from Remy's circle. One person leaked a portion of that call. In the recording, Joe said, "I protected that man more times than anyone knows, and he dares threaten her? Threaten Emmy? He better think twice before he steps into something he can't climb out of." The voice in the clip wasn't angry, it was disappointed, betrayed, and unbelievably sure of his own power. That tone shook people. It confirmed this wasn't PR. This wasn't theater. This was real. As fans speculated, another unexpected twist emerged. A leaked message from an unknown sender claiming, "You don't know the real story. Joe isn't innocent. Pap isn't crazy. Something happened years ago." Something involving all three of them. The message was vague, almost cryptic, but it was enough to ignite full-scale conspiracy mode. People began digging into old videos, interviews, award show appearances, and any moment when Joe, Remy, and Pap appeared together. They analyzed body language. They replayed subtle comments. They searched for clues in moments no one thought mattered at the time. And the deeper they dug, the more suspicious everything seemed. While the internet crumbled under the weight of speculation, Papoose finally resurfaced through another leak. Someone released a private voice note Pap sent to a close friend. In it, he said, "I loved that woman. I stood by her. And Joe thinks he can talk to me like I'm some rapper he discovered? Nah, I'm not letting him control the narrative. I'm not letting him rewrite my story." His voice cracked at one moment just slightly, but enough for people to hear the heartbreak beneath the anger. Enough for people to understand that this wasn't just about threats, it was about a man who felt humiliated, cornered, and betrayed by both the woman he loved and the man she trusted. But then something happened that no one saw coming. A new burner account appeared, one with screenshots, timestamps, and insider details too specific to ignore. The account posted a message that made the entire timeline stop mid-scroll. "You all keep asking what Papoose has. The real question is, what does Fat Joe have? And why is he more afraid now than ever before?" That post exploded instantly. People demanded answers. Threads broke under the weight of speculation. Some believed Joe's empire was built on secrets. Others believed Pap was bluffing. But then the burner account posted again, this time with a teaser screenshot cropped so tightly you could only see the top of an email. The subject line read, "The incident." No context, no date, no names. Just two words that sent the entire internet spiraling into hysteria. And before anyone could recover, the burner account posted one final message. "The truth drops in 24 hours. And when it does, someone's career is finished." Nobody knows whether the message is coming from Pap's camp, Joe's enemies, or someone else entirely. But one thing is certain. When the truth drops, nothing in this saga will ever be the same. If you've made it this far, then you already understand what the rest of the internet hasn't caught up to yet. We are standing on the edge of the biggest celebrity explosion hip-hop has seen in years. The next 24 hours could rewrite careers, end alliances, expose secrets people have buried their entire lives, and shatter the image of legends fans thought were untouchable. And if you're not locked in right now, if you're not ready for what drops next, you're going to miss the moment everyone is going to be talking about. This is the point where casual viewers fall behind. Don't be one of them. Hit that like button right now, so this video gets pushed to everyone who thinks they're ready for the truth. Smash the subscribe button, because when the next leak hits, and trust me, it's coming, it's going to drop fast, without warning, and you'll want to be the first to see it before the headlines twist it. Turn on notifications so you don't blink and miss the most chaotic twist yet in this war between Fat Joe, Papoose, Remy Ma, and the mysterious insiders pulling strings from the shadows. And drop a comment below, because your theories, your predictions, your take might be the one that exposes the missing piece nobody else can see. This story is evolving by the minute. And the next update? It could change everything. Stay alert, stay ready, the next shockwave is coming.